everybody. This is morning coffee.
It's time to pour it, stir it up, and serve it up. This is the Morning Coffee Podcast Show, your unofficial wake-up call. Here to help you live your best life and revolutionize your relationships, faith, inspiration, and love. Start your day the right way with Morning Coffee. Here's your host, Tanisha R. Atkins.
Good morning. Happy Monday. Happy Memorial Day. I know that today is a holiday. Many of you are off. Probably got your feet kicked up. You're probably sitting back relaxing, enjoying you some barbecue or whatever it is you're choosing for today. I hope that today turns out to be a great day for you. While you are tuned in to the Morning Coffee Live Show, I am the host, Tanisha R. Atkins, back with another great episode. And guess what? This is our last week of season 3. Season 3 has been all about taking your life off of the repeat cycle. So we've had an amazing season, just so wonderful, so excited. We are coming to an end though. You know, all good things, they say, come to an end. So this week I'm going to do a lot of recapping for you. And I'm going to give you my last and final thoughts and tidbits and advice on how to take your life off the repeat cycle. We've been talking about some amazing things. We've been talking about change and growth, because that's the purpose here of Morning Coffee, to help you to spiritually grow up and to revolutionize your relationships, because that's how you grow and evolve in life and continue to level up. If you never make any changes, you're never going to grow. Bottom line, period. So, with that being said, let's get right into today's episode. Now, today I want to talk to you about just taking a good look at your life. And I know we talked about doing a self-assessment, but today I want to come at it from a different angle. I want to talk to you about taking a good look. And I mean, like, looking over the past 5 years. Where were you 5 years ago? Where were you last year? Where do you want to be next year? I want you to take a look at what's going on in your life right now. Is your health okay? Is your mental state okay? Are your relationships okay? Are you feeling okay? Are you depressed? Are you happy? Are you enjoying life? Like, what's going on with you? And I want you to really think about that and really be honest, because there's no purpose in lying to yourself, because, you know, why would you lie to yourself? You know, that kind of doesn't make any sense, right? So that's what I want to talk to you about today. Just really taking a look at your life and saying, okay, this is where I am. You know, I'm here. Or even if you are happy and you enjoy your days, that's fine too. But just I'm talking more so to those that are maybe, let's say, not enjoying life because of the repeat cycle, okay? So I want to come at you like this, okay? Close your eyes for a moment. And for those of you that are return listeners, you probably have heard me give this illustration before, but for the sake of some of our new listeners, we're going to talk about it again. So I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to imagine that you are in a mall. And for many of you that have been to the mall before, I actually haven't been to the mall in a while. But for those of you that are frequent mall shoppers, when you walk into the mall, they usually have like a display of all the stores, where the stores are and which way you go to get to the stores, right? And it tells you are here. So wherever condition, wherever spot you're in, whichever store you decided to go through to get in the mall, it shows you this is where you are. Okay, and say you went in through, we're going to just say Macy's, because I love Macy's. Say you went in through Macy's, but you want to get to Bath and Body Works, another one of my favorite stores, right? And so the map, it's a map. It says this is where you are. And in order to get to Bath and Body Works, you're going to need to go this way. You're going to need to take a left right here at this store. And you're going to need to go down here, and then you'll find Bath and Body Works right there to your left. Right? So I want you to look at your life that way. This is where you are. You are here. You are, this is where you are. And then where do you want to go? And just like that map, I want you to consider mapping out how to get to where you want to go. Now, don't get me wrong. You may not know all the answers, but I guarantee you, if you'll start with just one step at a time. Let me say it to you like this. Now that we've talked about stores, let's say that Macy's represents you are unhealthy. Okay? You are an unhealthy person, but you desire to be healthy. So when you look at the map, you say, I might be right here. I'm unhealthy. I don't like the way my health is going. I'm feeling bad every day. I'm sickly. I don't have any energy, or whatever the situation may be. So if you're desiring to go somewhere to better health, now mind you, we were talking about the mall, right? So like when you go to the mall, they have all kinds of different stores. So for you, when you map out, okay, I want to get to better health, these are some things that I need to do. One thing, so say you're trying to get to GNC. We're just going to say it like that. And for many of you know, GNC sells vitamins and all kind of supplements. So if you map out and say, okay, this is where I am, my first step is going to be to GNC. Well, along your way to GNC, they may have a donut shop there, right? So you know that in order to reach your goal, you know that this donut shop is not your goal. Well, you see that donut shop on your way to GNC. That donut shop just kind of serves as a distraction. And I'm just telling you this because this is kind of how the repeat cycle starts. So instead of you going on to GNC, you stop by the donut place. And then after you stop at the donut place and you eat the donut, now you feel bad because you really were trying to go to GNC, but the donuts distracted you. So now you're back where you didn't want to be, and you're back where you set out not to go. Hint, hint, the repeat cycle. So then you try it again 6 more months after you kick yourself for 6 months. You start out, you say, okay, this is where I want to go. This is basically what I'm showing you. Like, this is how the repeat cycle starts. But you have to be clear and say, okay, this is where I am. I'm going to go to GNC. This is the focus. This is my first step. I'm going to go here and I'm going to buy what I need. And I'm not going to be worried about distractions or a burger joint or anything like that. This is how you make change. This is what I mean when I say take a good look at your life. Like, you know, we're just talking about health, but this could be anything. You know that you're not healthy. You know that the donut is not going to make you healthy. You know that you're going to feel bad after you eat the donut because you've done that before. So now you have to set your mindset on GNC, and you can't let anything distract you from that, so that you can get off of the repeat cycle. So I hope it doesn't sound like I'm rambling. I'm just trying to give it to you in a way so that you can clearly take a look at your life and understand what's really going on. And remember, like this season, we talked a lot about Eve and how the enemy distracted her with the fruit and how all that got her evicted out of the Garden of Eden. Well, what I'm telling you is, don't let poor eating habits or whatever the habits or whatever that thing is that's out to destroy you, don't let that get you evicted out of your body, because at the end of the day, that's not God's will for you to leave this earth early. And we're talking about overeating or poor health, but it can be anything, drug addiction, anything that you're dealing with, even a toxic relationship. It can be anything, because remember, we talked about the enemy has a strategy too. And he knows if he can get you distracted off of what you need to be doing. Because have you ever said, what should Eve have been doing? I talked about her a lot this season because her story is so relevant. What should she have been doing instead of being distracted by a fruit tree? I'm sure it was something else for her to do. I'm sure she was in the midst of doing it, and then she got distracted. So again, encouraging you to go back and read the story of Adam and Eve. Even if you read it, you need to read it again, because there's just so much powerfulness in there. But so the moral of the whole beautiful story is, where are you and where do you want to go? And how are you going to get there? Where are you? Where do you want to go? And how are you going to get there? What did you do last year? What are your patterns? How did you get where you are? You have to get real and ask yourself these questions. If you want to get off of the repeat cycle, you have to first be aware of what you're repeating. What are you repeating? Which bad habit? Which bad choice? What is the thing that you're repeating that's keeping you stuck here? But a lot of times we avoid conversations with ourselves. Let me tell you this, and then we're going to wrap up today's session. One thing that will help you is if you turn down the noise. A lot of times when we're riding in the car and things like that, we tend to want to turn the radio on and hear our favorite song, or maybe sometimes even you might be a frequent podcast listener and maybe you listen to podcasts in the car, or maybe you listen to your favorite sermon. I want to encourage you sometime to turn down the noise. Turn everything off and just really listen to yourself. Like, I believe that our self is always speaking to us. Like when you get, and this is why a lot of people, they don't like to sit still, because they know when you get in that place of calmness, God starts dealing with you on the inside about things you need to do. You know, maybe you're on your way home and you're going to stop and eat something bad. And instead of you got the radio on, you kind of feel like maybe I shouldn't do that. But it's a good idea to turn the radio off and just kind of listen. And some of the things you may hear yourself say is, now, you said you were going to stop eating like this. But some of us are just afraid to get in that quiet space because of what we're going to hear. And I say that because I used to be that girl. And, I've learned that when I turn down the noise, I hear God more clearer. I hear him say, this is the thing you need to do. I've talked to you about that before. We don't want God to get after us, but God chasing us because he loves us. So anyway, where do you want to go? Where are you? Where do you want to go? And what thing do you keep repeating that keeps you where you are? And I'm just going to leave it at that for today. It's getting close to the end, and I just want you to get it. I want you to grow up. I want you to stop blaming other people for where you are. And we're going to talk about that tomorrow. Stop blaming other people for where you are. We're not even going to get into that tonight. We're going to save that conversation for tomorrow. But it's been an amazing day. And I thank you all for tuning in with me. And enjoy the day. It's Memorial Day. Maybe you're listening on a Tuesday or whatever. But either way, whatever you listen, enjoy the day. I'm going to let y'all go. Connect with me on social media. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram and YouTube at Morning Coffee Live Show. I would love to hear your feedback about the show. Send me an email at morningcoffeelive1@gmail.com. Let me know what you thought about the show. Well, I'm Tanisha Atkins, and y'all have a great day.